It's the remix. This is the remix. You are listening and watching to the remix of Let's Talk Classic Hip Hop with Sister Crystal here. And today I wanted to bring you the news. This was some news I received maybe about a week or so ago about the conviction, or I don't know. So Suge Knight, this trial has been going on for the past 3 years. And recently, around, I think it was September 20th or something, around that time, he was finally sentenced to 28 years in prison after pleading no contest to a hit and run in the death of a man by the name of Terry Carter during in January 2015, during the filming of the film Straight Out of Compton, which was starring the legendary group NWA with the group members. Easy E, he's the only one that has passed away, but you had MC Ren, DJ Yella, who was the other one? Ice Cube, and Dr. Dre. Now, as some of you may or may not know, Suge Knight and Dr. Dre, they had a working relationship for a while. Dr. Dre was signed to Death Row Records as an in-house producer by Suge Knight back in the early 1990s. But after several years of that relationship kind of soured, and from my understanding, or allegedly, Dr. Dre walked away from Death Row Records. He left everything, left all his masters and everything to Suge Knight. He just wanted to be away from that situation. And he went on and made his own record company called Aftermath. And it's got to be terrible when you are willing to just walk away from everything that you built, from all of your production and everything. But Dr. Dre was willing to just walk away because I guess Suge Knight and the people that he had around him allegedly just made it so difficult work environment, from what I've heard. But anyway, okay, the reason I wanted to make sure I post this before the end of September, because I find it quite ironic that 22 years, almost 22 years to the death of Tupac Shakur, Suge Knight gets sentenced to 28 years in prison. Now, if that isn't a testimony of karma, I don't know what is. And I am saying that because, and I do want to give a disclaimer. I am not happy over seeing a man or anyone being sentenced to prison. I'm also in thinking about the family that lost their loved one, Mr. Terry Carter. But again, I'm not celebrating a man going to prison. As you know, we are living in the age of incarceration nation. We are living in the age of the prison industrial complex, where many of our black people, black men in particular, but also women, black women and women of color, are being incarcerated in huge numbers in our prison systems. And even when they get out, they are still kind of locked up in a way because they can't get jobs, and many of them can't even get housing because they have records and all that. I know I went off into something else, but my point is, I'm not happy about a man going to prison, but I wouldn't be honest if I said I was sad. I'll just put it that way. I'm not sad. I'm not happy, but I'm not sad either. I still feel some type of way about Suge Knight after he made his comments about after Tupac's death, allegedly. But I did see this interview where Suge Suge Knight was being interviewed about the events that happened in Las Vegas the night Tupac Shakur was shot, and Suge Knight said something to the effect of, no. Okay. So the interviewer asked Suge Knight, does he have any idea of who shot at them while he was in the car with Tupac? So as you may or may not know, Suge Knight was in the vehicle, and he was actually driving the vehicle that got shot in a drive-by. And Tupac was hit multiple times, and Suge Knight, as big as he is, he was just grazed with bullets, but he didn't suffer any serious injuries, while Tupac, who was considerably smaller than Suge Knight, he was shot all up. But anyway, not saying that I wish anything different, but anyway, I'm just saying the facts as I know them, as I understand them, allegedly. And I keep saying allegedly. I'm not trying to get sued, even though I don't have any money. I'm hearing a lot of smaller YouTubers are getting sued, so I don't want that to be me. But anywho, Suge Knight said in the interview, or was reported saying in an interview, quote, I don't get paid to solve murder mysteries, in response to a question from a reporter who asked Suge Knight, did he have any idea who shot Tupac Shakur? And to me, I thought that was a very inappropriate comment for him to make about someone that passed away. Maybe he was speaking in terms of street code, and maybe it was that street code that ended up being his demise, where he decided to go onto the set of Straight Out of Compton to confront. It was reported allegedly that he heard where they were filming at, and he went to the set of Straight Out of Compton to quote unquote talk to Dr. Dre. Now, when I first heard that, I'm like, what is he going to talk to Dr. Dre about? Because it's common knowledge that Dr. Dre and Suge Knight are not friends. They're not buddies, although they do share a child with the same woman, who is Michelle A. But other than that, those two are not friends. And Suge Knight had no business going there. But I guess in his street code, the street code is when you have a beef with somebody, you come to that person directly. And it had been many, many years, from my understanding, that Dr. Dre have had any words with Suge Knight. So from all that I know, Suge Knight had no business going on that set at all. And according to the case, he admitted in court that he used his vehicle as a weapon to run somebody over. So my understanding of a no contest, so I wanted to get on no contest. So no contest, from my understanding, means Suge Knight he didn't plead guilty. So in other words, he didn't say he did it, but he didn't deny that something happened. So that's what no contest is. From me, I'm not an attorney, but just from what my understanding of no contest is. So he's not admitting that he did it, but he's not saying he didn't do it. He got sentenced to 28 years in prison. My only question is, he's already been sitting behind bars for at least 2 years now. I guess that might cut it down to 26 years. Also, I don't know, is that with or without parole? Because if it's with parole, it's possible he can get out a lot sooner. Because you know how this injustice system is. Sometimes it seems like it works more for the criminals and for those who have money than it does for those for the poor and those who are victimized by criminals. Anyway, not calling him a criminal or whatever. I'm just saying that this justice system sucks for some and it's wonderful for others. So anyway, Suge Knight sentenced to 28 years after pleading no contest in court. It was a long, drawn out case. And I'm quite sure, I'm hoping the family of Mr. Terry Carter, that this can give them a little bit of closure, even though it will not bring their loved one back, that this can give them some closure at least, that the person who was responsible for the death of their loved one, that that person is behind bars now, at least for a while. Also, let me see. It says his sentence will begin on October 4th in Department 101 of the Fultz Criminal Justice Center. The Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office has revealed that Knight would receive 11 years for the voluntary manslaughter counts, which would double due to a prior conviction under California's 3 strikes law. An additional 5 years would also be tacked on over the deadly weapon allegation, seeing that it's considered a serious and violent felony. The no contest plea absolves 2 of Knight's high-profile criminal cases. In August 2014, he was indicted for making criminal threats, and in September 2014, he was accused of stealing a camera from a woman as comedian Cat Williams served as an onlooker. I do remember hearing something about that, but I didn't hear it explained like that. I heard that Cat Williams was the one that grabbed the camera from the woman. But anyway, allegedly, that's interesting. Well, anyway, he's behind bars. This is Sister Crystal with Let's Talk Classic Hip Hop Remix. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Also, let me know any other topics you like to see on this channel. So that's it. Let me know what you think. Again, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And until next time, take care.